Welcome to Strong Arm Flicks. I'm your boy T Flame, and this is another epic live stream. Sorry about the technical difficulties and making you guys wait. I never want to make you guys wait, and it's been such a exciting week. I've been saying this over and over again. Such amazing shit is coming out and happening, and it seems like we have waited so long. And I want to dive right into all of this shit. And I've got my boy Jeffrey Warfield on here as usual, aka Watchtower. And we're gonna get into the down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, real quick, I'm gonna catch up on some of these little questions. There ain't many. Real quick before we jump into it. And let's see, right here. Okay. Bat City stuff. Strong Arm Flicks. I have some very interesting information about the Ayer cut. I could share it with you on Twitter. What is your Twitter? I believe I already spoke with you, but I believe I believe so. I believe we already spoke, and this is old. But if you're a different person than who I spoke with, then my Twitter is at tflameg. No spaces or nothing like that. Yep, and it's also in the description in every YouTube video, not live stream. My actual videos on my YouTube channel, Strong Arm Flicks, in the description to any of my actual episodes. There is a direct link straight to my Twitter and my Instagram and my Vero. So yeah, so if you can't find it still after that, and you need to, you can go in and you can get on it like that. All right, and let's see. That one, Carlos, at work. So glad to see a stream going on. Need the escape. well, well, that one, Carlos. I'm sorry that it took so long for it to start. I hope you're still hanging in there with me. And I love your profile pic, man. That's pretty cool. And all right, applaud and flawed films. Hashtag release the Snyder cut. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. Damn right, brother.
Hey.
Damn right. And let's see right here. One more. I have multiple YouTube channels. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So anyway, Jeffrey. So have you seen any of the news? I wanted to break down some of the start off by breaking down some of the details from the Snyder cut that is being released, Zack Snyder's Justice League, on HBO Max in early 2021. What can you tell us so far about this?
Well, what I do know is that there's this rumor going on with the battle between like a 4 hour, the movie form versus the TV form that a lot of people are trying to say, but really, how I see it is really it's already been concrete by confirmed by Zach that it's going to be in movie form as because people seem to forget about that slate that Zach put out on February 26th, a few weeks after the screening, that he was referring to Zack Snyder's Justice League as a motion picture,
Yeah,
aka a movie. So I don't know where people got I don't know where people got the format for a TV show or miniseries, but yeah, really how I see it as it's definitely going to be a movie.
yes, and another thing is too is that you know there's no there's I in my opinion, like I said, in my opinion, that's total bullshit. Zach is not gonna allow, and and the fans neither, for that matter,
Yeah.
allow this shit to be chopped up into 6 or 7 chronological fucking episodes. You know what I mean? The whole problem, that is counterproductive, counterintuitive, or whatever word you want to
Yeah.
use for it. After everything that happened with the whole Justice League debacle in the first place, that would be kind of ridiculous for them to do exactly what was done from the get go and tamper with the shit, because we already know that Zach would not want to do that. Zach will play ball with motherfuckers so that he can get his shit out there. I'm not going to say that, that if they said, well, this is your only option, that he wouldn't, be forced into having to play ball so that we could see it. But we already know that that is not what Zach wants to do. And,
Yeah.
and for them to try to, not saying that they are, again, not saying that they are, not trying to be negative. I'm just saying that it makes absolutely no sense for that rumor to be true because the whole thing of it is that it's Zack Snyder's Justice League. And after what the injustice that was done to him and the family tragedy and everything that happened in the studio meddling, they're the reason why we got not HBO Max, not AT&T. Let me clarify. The old regime of Warner Brothers, because of their
Yep.
meddling and their bullshit, that is what got us into this situation in the first place.
Yep.
So I seriously doubt that them seeing that all the good that this movement done, all the clout that this movement brought to their company, and the cut and the move, the cuts, Ayer cut and Snyder cut, I seriously doubt that they would be like, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do it, but yeah, we're gonna fuck with it again.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that
Yeah.
that that
That
that
wouldn't
would be
make any
just out of
sense.
control. That would be completely ridiculous. And on top of that, if you think about it, when this thing, if whether this thing's going to be released theatrically for a limited time or just released in general theatrically, is a whole nother matter. The fact that it's not going to be till 2021, there's a good possibility that it could be released theatrically. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't, but either
Yep.
way, it will be on HBO Max and it will be released on Blu-ray, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K, and all that digital download and all that shit. So you got to figure nobody's going to want to buy a damn Blu-ray for the movie and then see the movie split up into 6, 7 fucking chunks on their Blu-ray.
Right.
That would do nothing but hurt the Blu-ray sales, and they know for a fact that one thing that Warner Brothers has always been able to say about Zack Snyder is that his director cuts on Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K and all that shit, digital download, they sell like a mofo.
Yep.
So there's no way that if they were going to go into business, with Zack Snyder, that the one thing that he does like clockwork that is just a guarantee, they are not going to mess with their own money because they know this man's director's cuts and Blu-rays sell. They know they do. So there's no
Yep.
way that they're going to jeopardize that guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Money coming from that.
Yep.
I already know that they're banking on that shit because if it doesn't get released theatrically, like I said, that's a discussion for another time. It may or may not. But if it doesn't, then you damn well believe that people are going to want that damn Blu-ray. We're going to want it anyway. But
Yep.
people are really going to be emphasizing how much they want that Blu-ray, that DVD, that digital download. And if that shit is tampered with, people are going to fucking lose their minds. You know what I
And
mean?
yeah, and really think about this with the BVS alone, it set the record for a number of times. It's been number one for weeks in a row, and that's 3 weeks in a row for the BVS Ultimate Edition. Think about
Right.
that. Who do you know has stayed number one for 3 weeks straight in Blu-ray sales? And that's not, and I don't even want to imagine and I can only imagine what the Blu-ray sales are going to be like for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And really, like you said, the number one thing that hits home for when it comes to money is those Blu-ray sales.
Hold on. Hey, Fatal J, what's up, brother?
Hey,
Fatal
Jay.
J's in this chat, boy. He said, I'm getting a Blu-ray and steel book. I feel you, yo. I feel you, man. Shit, I probably will too. And then oh man, and then that one Carlos, he said, tattoo it on the inside of my eyelids. I'm just kidding. And Q said, I would like a movie form, but they would also make more money on it if they made it into episodes, just like The Hateful Eight on Netflix. Q, I can see where you're coming from, but
Yeah,
in my opinion though, that's kind of risky. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I
yeah.
know
That's
what I
risky.
do know, and this is like I said, this is what I know. I know that if this thing is released untampered with, 3 hours and 34 minutes of Sweet 214, even if
They,
it's even longer than that because the reshoots now, say it's 4 hours for a little, you know what I'm saying? However long it is when it's released, people, I'm telling you, they're gonna want that shit untampered with. They're gonna
yeah,
want to bam, give it to me. You know what I'm saying? And
mm,
that's a guarantee market right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a guarantee revenue. Now, you chop it up into sections, there's going to be a small portion of fans that are mad as hell that they've even been had to wait this long in the first place. And that if they, been waiting 2.5 years for this movie and it comes out, and not only are they splitting it into part one, part two, and part three, they're trying to split it into 4+ parts. That means you're going to see a third of the flipping movie, and people are going to get pissed off over that shit. I
yeah,
mean, I mean, I'm not saying that everyone will. I'm not saying that they won't still make money, but there's a good chance that if they don't handle this properly and they handle this shit carelessly, it could easily turn around and bite them in the ass. So I can see your point, but I feel more like the safest approach that will guarantee make everybody happy is and guarantee make them their money is to just drop this thing 3.5 to 4.5 hours, however long it may be, of Snyder Cut greatness just
yeah,
on our
'cause-
heads. We're
yeah,
already going to have
because
to wait another year,
yeah,
2021. I mean, so.
yeah, because really, like, I even asked some people, like, hey, so when it comes down to the Snyder Cut, what would you prefer, a miniseries or a movie form? And a lot of people said movie form because it was all the same response. They would be mad because they've been waiting a long time for this to see the movie, not a show, not a miniseries or whatever you want to call it.
Right,
They want to see the movie.
exactly. And Fatal J said, when this movie do good, you think we are going to get Man of Steel 2 directed by Zach?
Now,
Um, Go ahead.
Grace Randolph said that a lot of the cast of the cast of just that a lot of the cast of the Snyder Cut are actually getting contract extensions. So really, I would say yes, we are going to get a Man of Steel 2, and I think we might get that Batfleck movie because because
Oh, yep.
because
That's the next topic we were going to go into, but go ahead, Jeffrey.
because AT&T themselves was answered the question like someone basically asked them, "Hey, are you going? Is Ben Affleck going to be in the future DC movies as Batman?" And they basically said, "Who wait, only he can answer the call." And it had the that Batfleck gift the with with the Batfleck ready to go
Yeah.
with the bat signal.
Yeah, and I think and another thing is too is I think that flew right over people's heads. I know right now that there is a portion of the community that said that one thing at a time, and I seen that even AT&T said that, but I think people took that out of context a little bit.
Yeah,
And I don't think that, that's just, you got to understand that is just some intern running their site, doing what they're told. Yes, what they say to some degree reflects the company's moves, reflects the company's attitude towards things. That's the whole point of them having them run the damn site, their damn, social media account. But, you got to understand that, when people are asking them questions like the day after the big news is announced and people are still freaking out about that, they're not going to burn all their damn hype engine and clout shit, clout hype out fucking within a matter of 24 hours. It's, so whatever else they're planning on doing, you think that they're going to announce that shit right now when people have been, right now. Now we might get a trickle down effect, and people might be able to scoop certain things that are actually going on, but not officially announced yet. And we might hear from it here and there from maybe Grace Randolph, who's hit or miss, or a couple of other people. You know what I'm saying? Film junkie. But AT&T and Warner Brothers, they're not going to announce shit, like at least for the next week or two. You know what I'm saying? Even if, let's say, for example, and I do think there is a lot of good shit that is now in the works that is now going to happen for sure. But the thing is that they're going to sit on that. Not saying they're not going to. I know they're going to on certain projects, but they're not going to say nothing right now when people are still losing. I'm still like in disbelief that this shit and that this shit is even happening. It's like a fucking dream. And like Fatal J said, he's like on his live stream, I was just checking out. He said, this the way the cocaine feel or something, or something like that. Just the buzz from it, the high from from everything that's taken place, and just this stuff finally happening. Some people hanging in there and fighting, the good fight for 2-3 years almost. Zack Snyder, as well, and a lot of other people, and the movement, and it's just, they're not going to say nothing right away. So I just don't want people to take that one tweet out of context of them replying to this one individual when it was just an intern. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing. I think we actually did get a straight up answer from AT&T about the Ayer cut. Someone tweeted out to
release the fucking Ayer cut.
Someone tweeted that, like, please, we need the Ayer cut. And then AT&T replied with, anything is possible with a little bit of magic. So I think that was them confirming that we are going to get the Ayer cut. And with that nerd culture article, the Culture Nerd article that came out saying that Zoic Studios is working with Zack Studio, with them working together with the visual effects for both the Snyder cut and the Ayer cut. Dude, the Ayer cut is definitely coming, dude.
Dude, I know it. I'm so fucking hyped for it. And this is another thing that I think that flew over some people's head. Some people's it didn't. David Ayer is now doing the Zack Snyder hype engine shit. You notice that now that this has been right leading up to this announcement, David Ayer in the month prior to this announcement just started releasing shit Zack Snyder style, retweeting shit, liking shit, answering questions of fans that have been burning questions for like 4 or 5 years with his cut. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He's finally answering them tough questions, and it still blows my mind that that in the Ayer cut, that Harley Quinn and
Deadshot get together.
Get together.
Right.
I can't believe that shit. It's like, wow. Right. It's like, how different are these fucking movies from the theatrical version? They are seriously entirely different movies, even without them adding shit or doing reshoots. It's crazy. It's like they literally use like 12% of their footage and just used their characters and did their own fucking thing with it. And it's like, no wonder why the budgets were so motherfucking high. And it's like, I always tried to look with Justice League and see, okay, they said they lost 60 million, but how? When you Google it, it doesn't really come up how they lost. And I believe that they lost that kind of money, maybe even more, because it was Joss Whedon's version of Justice League and not Zack's. And the studio changed a lot of shit. But my thing is, though, is that how are they hiding this money? Because when they're shooting an entirely different movie, that's got to be doubling the damn budget at least. So when you're working with $200 to $300 million budget already, and you double it, how are they hiding this? How is it not showing up when you look it up? How is it like and no matter where you look it up, it doesn't break that shit down for you. And there's no way that there can be an entirely different movie filmed with the same actors and that didn't double the motherfucking budget. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So either way, them losing money on Justice League was completely their fault from the get-go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
And
but David Ayer, he posted something and it looked like a contract and said Warner Brothers on it, and I swear it had Joker writing on the papers that were around it and shit. And it looked like that he's in the middle of trying to sign a deal with Warner Brothers right now. Maybe they're trying to, have a screening of what he's got. Maybe that he's signing an NDA right now and they want to review it and see if, or maybe it's already way further than that along. And he's signing the final paperwork to get this train started. You know what I'm saying? But
yep.
to me, that was a big clue. The Joker post. What if it? But you know what? Check this out, Jeffrey. I'm pretty sure it's the Ayer cut that he was hinting at, and with that Warner Brothers is approving the Ayer cut. But check this out. What if he's hinting at? He could just as easily be hinting at this. Check this out. What if he was hinting at? Him and Jared Leto are doing a solo movie, just the two of them, about Joker and Robin's backstory and everything, and Harley Quinn.
Did you see Jared Leto's new post?
No, I didn't.
In his new post, he was saying, "Hey, stay safe at home, guys." But the thing that caught my attention was his eyes were shaved. His eyelashes were shaved, and
no, shut up.
No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking, dude. His eyelashes.
Shit! That means he's doing reshoots right now. Oh my god, bro! Wait a minute, dude. If his eyebrows are shaved, that means he could be doing reshoots for the Snyder cut right now.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be doing reshoots right this moment for the Ayer cut, and it ain't even been announced. He could be, but most likely he would be doing some kind of shit for the Snyder cut.
Right.
Either way, it could go either way, but most likely, oh man, that's got me hype. Man, that has got me hype. I'm gonna have to go back and double check that. What it is, man, what did his hair look like though? Is it still real long or?
It was shorter. It was shorter.
Nice. Well, if his hair was shorter and his eyebrows, they can put extensions in your hair. It's Hollywood. If his hair's too long, they can wrap it because he's got like a mullet thing. Like if you look at the Joker in the Ayer cut, his hair actually looks longer than in the theatrical cut.
Right.
Because you can tell in the Ayer cut that on the sides, he's got it much shorter. And then on the top, it's almost like a rooster top, like mullet almost. And it's long and it falls down a little bit on the sides in certain scenes because you can clearly tell it's much longer on the top middle. You know what I'm saying? And in the theatrical cut, it looks more balanced, like a dude just combed his hair back and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in the Ayer cut, it's more, you can see them, the edges and the lining and how much longer it is on the top middle, where kind of like it reminds me of that Joker that was more of the gentleman Joker that off that comic where he had that mullet type deal, and he was more of like a gentleman Joker, but he had like the face stitched on and shit.
Yeah.
That's what it really reminds me a lot of, honestly. A combination of like that and Jack Nicholson's Joker in an aspect, in a way, in a little bit, being the gangster version and shit like that, yeah. So that's really the one. Carlos, release the hype engine, and then let's see. Will y'all be disappointed if Batfleck and Jared Leto Joker don't have some sort of interaction in the Ayer cut? I will be very disappointed. I will not be disappointed in the movie because I will be hype as shit because that's going to be a way fucking better movie than what we got. Yes, I will be disappointed in that aspect though. But at the same time, do you really think that David Ayer would get just like Zach, these guys are like life-size action figures. He was next to a nobody director. No, not throwing no shade at David Ayer, but he wasn't like a Zack Snyder before Zach got handed the DCEU. Okay, he was relatively unknown. He was just starting to make a name for himself and become known. Zach was already a well-seasoned director when he went to the DCEU. So Suicide Squad put David Ayer on. So with David Ayer getting his first chance at this shit, and him having the kind of respect and for Zack Snyder and helping try and build this universe with and for Zack Snyder, you think that he's got Batman in a movie and the Joker in a movie and both these guys at his disposal, and that in his original version before they made him change it, that there wasn't one fucking scene where Leto and Batman made eye contact and said one thing. There's no, I find that almost impossible to believe. I won't know until I see it, but I find that very, very hard to believe. And I guarantee you, there's going to be a scene because I've talked about this before. Chris Wong Swenson, Ping Pong Flicks, he's went over this before from this lady who's seen an early screening of the Ayer cut when it was his true vision, way before the movie came out. And she said that the movie was what she's seen, and it wasn't even all the way done yet because it was early on. And she said what she's seen was way different than the theatrical version and way superior than the theatrical version, and said that Batman had as much screen time as Spider-Man in Civil War.
Yeah.
Wow. Why would the studio cut that much Batman out? And we already know that Jared Leto came out and said that they filmed enough Joker scenes to damn near make a Joker movie. Now, David Ayer has in a little bit of a way walked that back, and said not enough for a whole movie, but yes, there's quite a lot more Joker. So basically, there is a shit ton of Batman and Joker scenes, and it's completely unknown that we know for a factor in the Ayer cut. And I find it very, very likely that there is a Batman and Joker, even if it's in a flashback form of them in their younger days fighting or something. They're going to have an interaction and a conversation. You bet your ass. And even if it's only one, there is definitely one in there. And I bet you it's dark as shit. And it probably shows how he triggers Batman's PTSD, because you got to figure the shit the Joker's done is savage. That's why he didn't really have too many lines in the movie, because every line that he had was savage. It was like R-rated shit that they couldn't fit into their new Guardians of the Galaxy style narrative that they were trying to do. That's why James Gunn is doing the new one. And like I said, if they would have just waited, David Ayer could be doing Suicide Squad 2 now. But I'm not really gonna be interested in this new Suicide Squad. If Jared Leto's not in it, if Will Smith's not in it, I'm not interested in it. Flat out.
Yeah.
Al Diablo's not in it. Jay Hernandez, I'm not interested. But that's just my personal opinion. You guys, can still see it. Check it out. Now, what do you want to add, Jeffrey?
But yeah, really, just a question from Dr. Fate. Really,
okay.
For a second.
Which one?
Do you guys really think they'll go back to OG Steppenwolf? Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Because Zach himself was even asked that question again recently, where someone asked him, "Hey, are you going to use the OG Steppenwolf design? I don't want to get my hopes up." And then Zach replied with a kiss emoji this time, and really that really does to me confirm that Culture Nerd article that said, hey, they're going to do VFX work for the OG Steppenwolf design and the OG Parademon design.
Yeah, and I absolutely know that they are doing the OG Steppenwolf because of the simple fact of this. Not only are they allowing Zach to release the Snyder Cut, they're reportedly giving him millions of dollars to do this damn thing the way he wanted it, the way he intended it. Even his first cut, listen, even
Yeah,
his first cut, of what we refer to as the Snyder cut, that was there right before Joss intervened and the studio intervened. Even that was a slightly watered down version, but he watered it down himself to make the studio happy. They were giving him hardcore shit way before they brought Joss in and took advantage
yeah.
of his daughter dying. Before that happened, him and Chris Terrio wrote some shit, and they were like, no, 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 you guys are nuts. And he was like, and he said it at SnyderCon. He was like, me and Chris were like, wow. He's like, they're right. We're fucking insane. He was like, this is gonna be mass hysteria in the streets. He's
In
like,
a
well,
way,
me and Chris did a
the,
rewrite. They
yeah,
toned it down a lot. They toned down that, so because they toned it down to fit this new tone, the studio then wanted them to tone down Steppenwolf. So they toned down Steppenwolf, and then the studio toned it down again. That's why you see that demonic one. There's the OG version from BBS. Then there's the demonic one, that's more slender though. That
yep.
was Zach's
Mm,
version of toning him down. Then the studio took that one when Josh stepped in and toned it down to the one we got in theaters.
Yep, and here's the thing really about something funny I just realized when when Zach said there will be mass hysteria in the streets. In a way, he was right, but in the sense of even without his movie coming out, there was mass hysteria in the streets with us campaigning for this movie. The old WB regime was right.
Yeah, exactly. And Dr. Fate, the film will absolutely go back into the BVS style, but it will also be telling, continuing the story, but evolving. And the score and the style, it's gonna feel like a exact direct sequel to BVS, and just go on and turn into this massive fucking beautiful dark ass fucking action packed thing, you know and they absolutely are, because now they're saying that even Junkie XL, supposedly they're given more funding to help recut the score, and the score was already done BVS style by Junkie XL, which was confirmed a long time ago. But apparently, and this hasn't been stated, but from what I gather, even that the studio even made him water down his score a little bit for the
Yep,
early on Snyder cut, and that
yep,
they are truly letting him do what he wants to do with this movie. Like, here's 20 million or however much money they're reportedly giving him. It doesn't, the number sign doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, they're giving him millions of dollars to do this, to do reshoots, to recut the damn score, to re-edit it, and redo Steppenwolf. We're gonna get all that. They're redoing. They're adding in all that dark shit back in with the nightmare sequences. Even filming new ones for shit that he scripted but never shot. You know what I'm saying?
yep. And
Um. So yeah, it's gonna be man. It's gonna be a treat, Doctor Fate.
yeah, so and once again, Dr. Fate asks me a question. Hey Jeffrey, remember you said Feige didn't want to didn't let the Russo challenge the audience. What did I mean by that? So yeah, with Captain America 3, what they wanted to do was they wanted to make a movie that made audiences think like they like actually use their brains and they really wanted to make Captain America 3 controversial, but then Kevin Feige said no, we need to keep this kid friendly. We don't want to make this too complicated for them. So that's what the Russos meant.
Right. Yeah, and that was a very great question. That was a good question, Doctor Fate. And I hope Jeffrey answered that, because I didn't know anything about that. Jeffrey's that's Watchtower for you right there, boy. And we are at 23 viewers right now, baby.
Ooh,
Woo!
wow.
Not bad, not too bad. And like I always say, if you're new to this channel and you enjoy it, please subscribe and hit the bell. Uh, Me and Jeffrey, we do these live streams like mad. And we're going to be bringing more DC and DCEU content in the future. And I hope you guys really enjoy this shit because I really enjoy it. And I like to educate and entertain at the same time. And whatever I have to bring to the table, I try my best to. Um, all right, now let's do a couple more comments real quick. Um, let's
Uh,
see. I feel Deathstroke's camp. What's up, buddy? He said, I feel like the old DCEU is back. Woo!
yep.
You know what? And so do I. And I'm glad that you say that because that was going to be another topic that we were going to talk about on this live stream today. Was do you guys think the DCEU is back? And my opinion is, hell yes, it is. I
Yeah.
wanted to hear your guys' opinions. So let me know. But what I think is going on, guys, I absolutely think that it's back. I think that it's a little too early on to blow your load yet. But but I think that right now that there's negotiations. There was a comment earlier that I wanted to click on. It kind of went by me talking about the Deathstroke and Batman movie. I think this shit is back on the table.
Oh,
A lot.
here's speaking of that Deathstroke. Speaking of, it's actually very fitting that Deathstroke's camp had made that comment now, because this is what Joe Maglo, the person who played as Deathstroke in that little post credit scene that he was in the movie more of in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Right.
But when Zack Snyder's Justice League announcement was made, he pinned a tweet. He pinned his own tweet saying, with the Variety article saying Zack Snyder's Justice League going to be on HBO Max, and the retweet that he said was this: original end credit scene, and it had three emojis: battle swords crossing, a bat, and a skull. So that tells
Ooh.
me that
Yeah.
the
Woo.
original ending, we're going to see a little teaser of Deathstroke versus Batfleck.
Hell yeah. And and I absolutely agree. I know that's why I've been telling you, if you guys go back, and I seen that a lot of you, my newer subscribers, that are new to this channel, I've seen that a lot of you have been going back and checking out some of my older content, and I've been covering this thing for on my channel for about a year, but I've been in this thing since before there was a movement. Okay, so as quite a few others, but
Yeah.
Jeffrey too. So you can trust our word on a lot of this shit. We know what we're talking about. We've done our due diligence. We've done our homework and then some. And I've seen a lot of you going back and watching old videos and commenting and liking that shit. And I'm happy that you guys are enjoying it. And speaking of which, we're at 28 viewers right now. That's
Woo.
fucking great for this channel. That's pretty damn good. And thank you guys, all of you guys that are watching right now. Um, and yeah, I believe that, and I've been saying this for a while. Especially, I even have a video where I covered this. The all of the cast, everybody that Zack Snyder and David Ayer casted, they are so passionate about the DCEU. They are so passionate, and their run as their characters, a lot of them got completely cut short. Got cut
Yeah.
short. And like every single person they talk to, Ben Affleck is another one of them, which there's a lot of controversy with Ben Affleck because a lot of people are saying, well, he said he don't want to do it no more, so just leave him alone. We're not begging him to listen, guys. We love Ben Affleck, okay? We respect Ben Affleck and we want what's best for Ben. If Ben doesn't want to
Yeah.
come back, then that is fine. He will still always be in our favorite Batman on
Yeah.
screen. Now, at the same time, I don't believe that he doesn't want to come back. And there's a small detail that people missed in his interview for the way back. He said that the reason why he passed up the Batman movie was because of the fact that he was going through such a tough time in his life when they were filming Justice League. The Batman movie was right around the corner from Justice League filming. So you got to
Yep.
imagine this guy through Justice League. He's getting shit from the previous movie, from the studio and critics, from BBS while he's filming Justice League. You got the studio coming in. Not only did they make him shoot Justice League one time, they made him reshoot all of his scenes for the Justice League, which he didn't know he was going to have to do. He was a partial director on Justice League, so he was getting bullied and the fuck around by a studio that promised him to have some kind of control and promised him, and he was in it for Zack Snyder. He was down for Zack Snyder's vision for Batman. So when the studio tampered with that and decided to change that, and combined with the fact of the alcoholism, combined with the fact that his marriage was falling apart and everything else, he was like, this shit, man. And every time he went somewhere, what's going on with the Batman? And, it was just driving him fucking nuts. And he said that at his time in his life that was not the most important thing to him. And he said that that's why he thought that it was time to give the role up to somebody that was just absolutely beyond excited to make it. And he said, but and that just wasn't me
at the time, but now
at the time. Then at the time. And people seem to overlook that detail. And if Zack Snyder is back, which he is, and they're giving him money for reshoots, and there's hints at the Ayer cut getting ready to be released and coming out, you bet your ass that if they're going to let Zack wrap up his Batman arc the way that he always intended it, and that Ben Affleck's going to get his ass in the collar and go out at the very least, and at the very least, at a blaze of glory. And if they're going to let Ben Affleck have his own Batman movie to some degree, whether it's on HBO Max or if they just separate, Pattinson's movie like they did the Black Label Joker movie, it's its own thing. If they let him do Joe Magdalo, however you say his last name, he is so excited to play Deathstroke. He never got his shot at that. So if he's got anything to say about it, everybody is excited as shit to come back. Ray Fisher broke down in tears when he found out what was going on with this shit on camera. On camera. So I absolutely believe we are going to get our Ben Affleck Batman movie. We're going to get Ben Affleck to come back and finish his arc within the Justice League Snyder cut arc. And go out in a blaze of glory.
And really, this is something that I learned last night. Did you see that Lightcast podcast thing last night with Ray Porter?
Did I say that again?
Did you see that Lightcast podcast with Ray Porter?
I think I caught a glimpse of it. Yeah, I was. I was at work, but I seen some of it.
Yeah, so Ray Porter was asked a question if he was called back for those extra scenes that Zack is doing for his Justice League, and Ray Porter responded without a word. He just looked like
Nuh-uh.
So, dude,
what? Hold on. So, is that what? That's exactly what he did.
I'm not joking, dude. It's on YouTube. It's on their channel.
I didn't catch that part. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the rest of that, man. Man. Ah! I love it. I fucking love it, man. And let's see. Hold on. I read on Twitter that Joker calls Harley a slut in David's Ayer Suicide Squad. Don't know if it's true, but if it is, then can't wait to see Kathy Yen call David pathetic, disgusting, and blah, 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 blah. I don't think that the Joker even ever says that. I wouldn't be surprised if he called her a bitch, but I really doubt that he would call, because anything that she does it for him. everything
Yep.
she does. She don't cheat on him. Now, if he were to tell her to go get freaky or hey, go sit on that guy's lap, she's gonna do whatever he tells she's gonna do whatever he tells her to do. But no, I
Hmm.
don't think that he uses that word. I seriously doubt that he says that. And even if he does, it depends on what context it's in.
Yeah, it
I don't
depends.
see, I don't see no context in which that he would say something like that.
Yeah.
I really don't, but you never know. So I mean, but I seriously doubt that. You know, but yeah, I could hear people whining, bitching, and crying about it. The same people that hate the DCEU, and I just don't understand what is so bad about it. They say that you don't know how to tell a story, and I seen my boy Tyrone Magnus. Okay, I watch this dude all. I want to say my
Bro.
boy. I don't know him
Mm,
personally, but man,
right.
I'm a huge fan of him. I watch his channel all the
Me
time.
too, dude.
He has a massive following. He's got almost 2 million followers, and he is a real motherfucker. And he's got a large, and he is a huge Zack Snyder supporter and DCEU supporter. And he was on there talking straight up and was just like, all you people, oh, Zack Snyder. And this is how he said it too. Oh, Zack Snyder don't know how to tell a story. Oh my God. He's like, oh, shut your damn mouth. Yeah, you heard me. Shut the fuck up or something like that. He was going ham on his channel the other day, bro, and it was making me laugh my ass off. And that's true. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with having your Marvel universe. There's lots of people that enjoy that. I enjoy some of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it at that. It's definitely not all it's cracked up to be. Okay. Now, what's wrong with having a dark and serious take, grounded, more realistic, down to earth take on these characters? I just don't
Right.
understand it. Just
Right.
because they're doing that, fuck them all.
And
Fuck Zach, fuck the DCU, fuck everybody. Like I don't understand
and
critics and bloggers, and I just don't understand. Like
now
what what
For the Rotten Tomatoes critics, one of them
them too.
actually one of them actually came out on Twitter and said that he was paid to give positive reviews to MCU movies, but give negative reviews to Zack Snyder films. So really, like that really
Really,
comes in.
that
So
doesn't
really,
surprise me at all.
so really, that comes into question on really the critics' loyalty or honesty. Like,
Yeah,
you know
everything's
what?
about money, and people are crooked as hell. And it's just gotten to a point where if they can't be, if that people have wizened up too much. They see through this Hollywood bullshit, the corporate line, the shit they like to spew, and people get taking a payoff to put some money in their pocket and shitting on somebody else's stuff and trying to convince millions of others they should hate it too. And a lot of them are dumb and they blindly follow these motherfuckers.
But bro, but and really, the people who are most salty about this are really Collider, because if you check out their article, like, dude,
Uh,
I'm not gonna go into detail on them, but dude, they are salty.
right.
They
And
are
that
very salty.
Oh yeah, they're salty. Yeah, and look at they're trying to push against the positivity right now with negativity. But check this out. That one, Carlos. I prefer calling the DCEU mature or grounded rather than dark. That's true.
Right,
It could be called that just as easily because it's all of them things. But primarily, that's the way that you sum it up the best way right there.
right.
Grounded, mature, and grounded. If this was going on in real life, and like I said, if this shit and these characters were real, which they're not, but if they were real, this is how it would be going down in
Yep,
real life. And that's the way that Zach shoots things while still kept keeping and capturing that epic, the epic scenes, epic graphics, epic fights, and nostalgia to an extent.
yep,
Um,
and that really doesn't make sense for the criticism that I recently heard. Nerdy in many ways brought it up in one of his videos. Apparently, there's a criticism that Batman shouldn't have PTSD,
Oh my
and
god.
and I face palmed so hard.
Oh my god. Them people need to just shut the fuck up, dude. I can't even handle that shit no more. Like I really don't even want to talk about that anymore because it's just I've went on and on so much about Batman. It's just there is many interpretations of these characters, and there is very many characters of versions of Batman that have killed before.
Yep.
That have crossed the line before. The Injustice Batman is one of them. You know,
Yep.
just one of them of many. You know, so
And
it's just ridiculous. And to finish that one, Carlos's comment, he said we're talking about super. He said we're talking about superheroes with massive powers breaking out our small little world. MCU, it just feels so fake at times. Oh look, there's Thor.
yeah.
Oh, you silly, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, and it's just I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand what people's issue is. It's like I feel like if Christopher Nolan, right, his trilogy was not um it was not entire it wasn't completely accurate, comic accurate at all. It was accurate enough for him and enough to where he could ground the characters in the story and tell it the way that he wanted. It's no different than how Zach is doing it, but and Christopher Nolan and Zach, they are fucking friends. And Christopher Nolan's the one that recommended that Zack Snyder launch their DCEU for them.
Yep.
And it just trips me
And
out. Certain people, not all, certain fans of Nolan and Nolan's Batman, not all of them, certain ones, why they are so negative and hateful towards Zack Snyder, I don't understand.
and here's the thing, like we're gonna talk about James Cameron for a sec,
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
James Cameron had said on record that he looks at some of these young directors for inspiration, and the first thing and the first name that he mentioned was Zach. So really, if a veteran like James Cameron is saying that he's looking at inspiration from Zach, that should tell you something.
There you go. That is an excellent point. I'm just checking to make sure. My son's supposed to be coming soon. But yeah, that's an excellent point, Jeffrey. It's something for them people out, that selective group that's out there, something for them to think about. Now let's jump onto this comment right here. Deathstroke's camp. If Henry Cavill does end up getting another Superman movie, who do you think the main antagonist should be? Personally, I want, what's that say?
Mongol.
Mongol, as he gives him a tough time both physically and mentally. Um, yeah, I could see that. I could definitely
Yeah.
see that. I think that the main villain should, first of all, if they make a Man of Steel 2, let me say this. The first thing I think that they should do is explain and go back to that Kryptonian pod from Man of Steel and
Yeah.
what's going on
See,
with that. Now, the second thing is I think the villain of the main villain of Man of Steel 2 should be Brainiac.
what if it's one of the Kryptonians that went into the Phantom Zone at
Well,
the
look
end
what
of
I
Man
what
of
I think.
Steel?
See what I would think, and this is how I would do it. Okay, we already had a Kryptonian, and Zach and or Zach and Henry and Superman had to sacrifice. That's what him breaking that dude's neck was about. He was about to kill them women and children. He chose Earth, humans, mankind over his own kind. And even though we had rejected him and it broke his heart. But at the end of the day, that's the decision that he made because he loved mankind and he loved Lois, and he wasn't going to sit there and watch this family get killed like that. So he got killed, the last of his kind. Okay, so I feel like if the main antagonist is another Kryptonian to the direct follow up to Man of Steel, that it would undermine the arc and plot of the first movie and its importance. Okay, I think that if they can still introduce this Kryptonian in Man of Steel 2, but I think that it should be more along the lines of that this person wasn't a bad guy, maybe a bit of an anti-hero though, or something. Who knows? But basically, where they're at, what's going on, and maybe near the end of the movie, he's fighting a threat that's too large to handle completely by himself, and this guy comes and helps him. You know what I mean? Take him down.
So the question is, who would that be though? Because
I have absolutely no idea. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Because it really oh, that's interesting. Could it be Superboy maybe? Because
Who knows?
because we don't really know, because we do know that Lex is smart, and there is a storyline where Lex does create Superboy.
What up, Nerdy? Nerdy's in the house.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm just
Nerdy.
seeing Nerdy in many ways in the house. Yeah, my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
What up, boy? Damn, so we have Fatal in here, Nerdy in here. Which Subjective wasn't so busy all the time between his job and his family, but sometimes he just can't make it, and that's okay. We're gonna link up, Fatal J, Subjective. We're gonna link up soon, man.
Yeah.
Get on a live stream again together, guys. It's way past overdue. I'm sorry about my schedule. It fucking sucks. Ain't much I can do about that though. So let's see. John Cena 2099, Zack Snyder's Justice League HBO Max. Do you think the color grading will match the one from BVS? The final scenes of BVS were just so awesome with this dark color grade.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. That's a damn good question. Like I said, this movie, they're giving him millions of dollars to redo this movie. Hold on, why is my camera getting all blurry all of a sudden? There it is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there we go.
just blurred the god out of nowhere. What the hell?
Yeah.
But they're giving him millions of dollars, like I said, to go back and make this, finish a little bit of touch-ups, but redo the shit and make it the way that he wants to make it. So I'm sure the first thing he's gonna do is fix that color grading that they did in the theatrical cut. They altered from his version. So like I said, this is gonna be a direct follow-up. And if they're gonna go back, and if Zach's gonna go back and change Steppenwolf, then why would he not go back and make this movie feel and be a direct sequel like it's going to be? That's definitely something that he's going to do, in my opinion.
Yep.
Color grading, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same, because this is still a different movie, the Justice League. It's, but still, it's going to be a direct sequel. You're going to know it. You're going to feel it. It's going to pick up right where BVS Ultimate Edition left off.
Yep.
Now, let's see. Okay. That one, Carlos. Oh, the OG DCEU is being resurrected, bigger and better than ever. You damn right.
Yep. And
John Sorvelis. I do think they are going to bring the old DCU back in some form, but not fully, because it might not be possible. But it seems like they are bringing at least the most juicy stuff back, which is still a huge win. Yes, John, I think you're correct, but I also think that you're underestimating the situation and AT&T a little bit. And as we thought, it's AT&T that made this happen. They, flat out, it was.
Like they're the ones who are most responding to fans' comments. They're the ones who are, before it was TNT's chat, before it was TNT, but now it's all AT&T responding to tweets. So really that should tell you that they are now listening to their customers, which is the number one part of business. And if we say bring, and really for those who say that dude, I don't think it's possible. Like, put it this way: there's HBO Max, and like think about this. There's the whole multiverse series that I've been saying for the longest time, right? So that means whatever they put out is canon if they want it to be part of the DCEU, whether
Yeah.
it's on streaming or on the CW show, or even on the DC Universe streaming platform. It's it's all going to be canon, and that means that ev- and that really means, like I said, about the possibility of Justice League 3 possibly being directed by Zack Snyder and written by Chris Terrio, please. but but that but that really does open the vision of the Justice League 3 being the forces of apocalypse versus the entire multiverse, because in April there apparently there's this plot leak that is said to tease a way for the Snyder cut to be canon. So there you go.
Yeah, and Doc 480 said, "Why y'all getting so hyped again? Like it's 2016." I agree. I feel the old DCEU is back. Yeah, baby. Um, Q. I like how AT&T is pushing for release the Snyder cut now.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And John, not gonna lie, now that the Snyder cut is releasing and possibly the Ayer cut is releasing, that makes me way more excited for the other DC projects too. Even the side stuff. See, and me too. And
Me
now that they're
too.
doing this, now listen, they're giving us this our Snyder cut, and if they give us the Ayer cut too, I promise to DC, to Warner Brothers, to AT&T that I will check out their side projects, even the ones I'm not into. I already did this anyway with Birds of Prey, when we didn't even know what was going on with the Snyder cut and the Ayer cut and everything like that. Um,
Right.
and I agree. I feel exactly the same way, John. Let's see. Uh, Dark Side also confirmed that he did motion capture. Yep,
Yep.
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 That was way back. He confirmed
Way
that.
back. Way
Q
back.
for Dark Side. All right,
And and Ray
oh
Porter
yes, and
said,
that's another. That's a good question. It's not even a question, but or yeah, it's a question. And I wanted to talk about this, and I forgot all about it. Deathstroke's camp. Are we getting a teaser trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League this year? Yes, we are.
Zach, Zach
We
said
are.
he's working. Zach said it straight up. He's working on it.
He's
So
working on it as we speak.
right.
Because you got to realize, right? Um, there is typically, usually, 3 trailers to a movie, right? When it comes
Right.
before it comes out, right?
Right.
So there's no reason when the first trailer is going to show the least amount of footage. Second trailer and the third trailer reveals the most. That's like right before the movie drops. That's typically how they do trailers. So there's no reason when the Snyder cut it was already almost done in the first place. There's no reason that he's already doing reshoots right now and working on this film. There's no reason why here very shortly he wouldn't be complete with his first look at the Snyder Cut, the first
Yep.
official look at Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm thinking that by the end of summer, tops, we're gonna have our first sneak peek trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And you know when I think this trailer is gonna drop? I think this
Comic
trailer is gonna drop
Con.
at San Diego at Comic Con 2020 this year when they stream it. I
Yep.
think that trailer is gonna be there, baby. I think
Yep.
the first sneak peek. I think, and I feel it in my bones. Mark my words. I think it's gonna be there. So keep an eye out for it.
Yep. uh, so
Okay. Now let's
wait,
see what we got
wait.
here.
Oh,
Oh, did you
Ray.
let's see what we people want to
Ray says Zack should release the trailer early so Campia and those tools can to say he needs time to finish it.
Zach should release the trailer early so Campy and them fools can say he needs time to finish it. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Jody's corner and John Campion, man, them are some of the most cringy uh, channels on the web. Do everything for a damn click. I mean, at the end of the day, you do this for your audience. Yes, you want your
Wait,
audience. Yes, you want views to an extent. You want your views and your audience, but you know, come on, dude. Like, really, you don't got to be a complete asshat. You know, like just for no reason, just to be a fucking hater. And like, I just don't understand how Jody and Campia, how they're trying to get out in front of this thing when they already know that they've hung themselves with all the bullshit they've said. They've hung themselves and then ran themselves over 2-3 times with a fucking freight train after all
and
the bullshit they've said.
and Cambria said that,
Woohoo!
and Cambria came in and it said stuff like, "Oh, see, I told you it wasn't done. There was no apples and there was no
He's an
watermelon
yeah,
in the bag."
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It's just he's
but
a
but really, when what he said was see, it's going to be completely different. It's not going to be the cut that you're fine for. No, what
He's such a dumbass, man.
what
I
what
swear. So he knows more than the fucking guy that made it himself, Zack Snyder. So
yeah,
so apparently John thinks that he knows more than the guy that created this shit.
and
It's
really
just so
and
fucking sad and
and
pathetic, dude. It's just
and really just to clarify something for him right now. Here's what he meant when he said that. It is completely different from the theatrical version, which I found out only has 53, which someone actually did the math for this on Facebook, where he said that for the theatrical cut it was 53 minutes and 44 seconds of Josh Whedon's Josh Whedon footage, which which is like 48.8% of which is 48.8% of the movie.
right,
Now what he pointed out was you for to get the director's credit, you need 50%. You need more than 50% of you need more than 50% of your footage in the movie, meaning that the old WB regime, they made sure to have at they made sure to have the most Joss Whedon footage they could get into Justice League
right,
without having to change the director's title.
right. And this comment real quick, I want to read Deathstroke's Camp. He said, Lantern 2814 should join your live streams. Yeah, I've been watching,
Yeah,
I've been a fan of him for a long time, watching his shit for a long time. He had a couple of issues with people inside of the uh, movement on Twitter, I believe, back in the day. And I just kind of tried to stay out of that and stay away from that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting off topic. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a live stream with him if he's down for it. I mean, I'm down for it. I come on to
yeah.
his live streams and his channel from time to time. You'll see me pop in and out of there from time to time. Recently, I've been real busy working and shit, so I haven't really been popping in on anybody's shit as much as I used to, though.
Mm.
Um, let's see. Pilot Maverick. Check that chat on Twitter. I'm all ready for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yep.
Let's
They
see.
yeah.
John Cena 2099. Zack Snyder's Justice League HBO. I want some bad Brainiac. I want so bad Brainiac or something like that. And I already clicked on that. Love the T Flame and Warfield duo. Fire. Hell yeah. Thanks for the support, brother.
Thanks for the support, man.
Uh, okay, he said Ray or Zach should release a trailer early so Campia. Yeah, we read that earlier. He needs time to finish it. The
Oh,
80s Wolf. The 80s
so
Wolf. He
someone,
really like.
oh,
Go ahead.
so someone, so apparently there's this rumor going on that that the reason why Ryan Reynolds has been pushing for the Snyder cut for so long is because people think that he is going to be Hal Jordan for Green Lantern. Now, who really at first glimpse I thought, nah, that doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it like this, the original Green Lantern movie was going to have three Green Lanterns. One is John Stewart, the
Yep.
other is Hal Jordan,
Yep.
and the third one is kind of like the new kid in the block. And someone actually pointed this out, like with the whole Deadpool 3 scenario, where where we don't know where we really don't know if we're going to get Deadpool 3. There's not going to be a Deadpool 3 with Disney on.
Yep. Yep. They're pissed off about that right now.
Yeah, so really it would, and really like I thought that, oh, that wouldn't be a good move. But then I was thinking about X-Men Origins Wolverine,
I love
and it
that.
was
I love
like,
all three of them. It's not.
yeah,
It's got definitely got its issues, but I love it. Go ahead.
yeah, and really if you look at that movie, it clearly shows that Ryan Reynolds can pull off a serious role.
Yeah.
So so really, if you even put and even if you add Zach into the fold, like I can really see Zach canonizing the original Green Lantern movie, where it would be where it would really make that movie more appreciative
Yeah.
of that movie.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't make it better, but it would definitely make it more appreciative.
Right. Can you imagine a Zack Snyder directed Deadpool 3 with Ryan Reynolds? As a way to wrap it up, that shit gets for real. It gets serious, but it's Ryan Reynolds, so you know he's still gonna have that humor here, that dark Deadpool humor, but
Yeah.
it'd just be more fucking dark and action packed and more just badass. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what they should do for the final Deadpool movie.
Right.
Because in my opinion, they shouldn't do more than 3 Deadpool movies. They should
Right.
definitely do 3, but 3 should be it, and they should wrap it up nicely. They should go hard as they can for Deadpool 3 and throw everything at the audience. It'd be nice if Deadpool could cross over with the Avengers and all that kind of shit, but that's not going to happen. The Avengers shit's all done and over with, and now they're spitting out like SJW, a lot of SJW shit. There's still a couple of projects that are going to be okay that are coming. The Black Widow movie, a lot of people aren't, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be great, but I don't think it's going to be bad neither. But I'm not going to root against it. I hope that it does good, honestly. There's a couple others too that I'd be interested in seeing. Nothing that I would, I'm going to be kicking and screaming over if I miss it though. DC Extended. What up, DC Extended? He said Warner Media already posted the credits. Joss is not on it.
Woo!
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Uh, Campia is a fool. He's a fool moron. Yup. We all know that, brother. Um, the movie Radar, the theatrical cut of Zack's Justice League that was supposed to come out in 2017 before Joss hopped on was 2 hours and 50 minutes. Do you think HBO Max should release that version at launch before the 4 hour one? In my opinion, I'm gonna give my opinion, Jeffrey, and then you can go and give your response to it. My opinion, I don't. I do not think that they should release this because this movie has got a lot riding on it.
Right.
We cannot, as fans, all of you, if we've got to sign up for HBO Max and give them our money, then give it to them. Just do it. Do it 2 times if you can. This has never been done. We've made history by doing this, and we cannot let Zack down and the studio. We cannot let AT&T, mainly Zack Snyder, though. We cannot let these guys down. And this is a very sensitive matter with this movie. If it's not, and I'm not, and I hate to say this, I'm looking at this realistically from all sides and all points of view. This release of this movie has got to be handled carefully and properly and in a very hands-off manner to where Zach can pretty much, be in complete control of how this is released and when.
Right.
And the thing is, if they release a cut of this movie, right, and it's not the true version and it's missing over an hour of footage and maybe some of the VFX ain't done, or maybe it's just not up to standards, and you already know critics are going to rush right in and they're going to
Yeah,
tear this movie a new asshole when it comes out anyway, just because they're paid off fake lying dirty crooked motherfuckers. So
and
you give a movie that's not up to Zack Snyder's true talent and standards to the audience, they're gonna have a field day with this. I could see it
yep,
already now. The Snyder
and
cut's a heaping pile of dog shit. And then when the true Snyder cut comes out, it's gonna damage the word of mouth will damage the sales to it. And
yep,
people won't even give it a chance.
and it really like the
So
thing
I
about
think
this,
I get what you're saying, but I think that would be a bad idea. Now go ahead, Jeffrey.
and really to double down on what you said, when Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, the first thing that happened, the first tweet that Rotten Tomatoes said wasn't like Zack Snyder's Justice League is announced, yippee. It was literally, and I quote, "So what do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes score will be for
Right.
Zack Snyder's Justice League?" And I'm looking now at the comments, and the movement is not having it. They are not having it.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
like, bro, they are
Okay.
not letting them have it. Like,
Uh-uh. And pretty soon, guys, I gotta end this live stream. I got my son showing up here shortly, and I've got to meet and greet with his mother. So we are at an hour and 18 minutes right now on our live stream. So we're gonna be ending this here soon. I want to read this comment by Applaud and Flawed Films.
okay.
The Suicide Squad, David Ayer's version. Is it supposed to be rated R because it's
Yeah.
dark and serious, scary look and scary look at supervillains, as a scene in the Suicide Squad Comic Con first look trailer, DC Black Label. Now, Applaud and Flawed Films. I've actually dropped episodes. I don't remember which ones they are, and I covered all of this shit. But let me break it down for you once again. Because clearly you probably haven't seen it, or you're probably relatively new to the channel and everything. And appreciate you tuning in. But yes, definitely. Hands down, David Ayer's Suicide Squad was always intended to be rated R. Zack Snyder's BVS was always intended to be rated R. That's why the Ultimate Edition is rated R. And even the Ultimate Edition is missing a couple of scenes, but for the most part, for basically the most part, that is Zack's true vision of BVS, the Ultimate Edition. Okay, it's rated R. Okay, David Ayer's Suicide Squad was going to push that R rating even further, but it was definitely going to be rated R. You can tell immediately, like you just said, um, applaud and flawed films from the first sneak peek at Comic-Con with the music, with the music they chose, with the color grading, with the style of that first trailer and everything about it, the early on posters, and I've got one. I've even spoke about this. And yes, it was definitely meant to be rated R. You can't have, well, that's why the PG-13 version, why they had to change the Joker's lines, reshoot some of the Joker's scenes, cut the Joker out of almost all the movie, because you got the Joker talking about being a serial killer, basically. You got him making dark jokes about it. You got him bitch slapping Harley Quinn. You got him, killing people, beating their faces in with a baseball bat. Flashbacks to his teeth getting punched out by Batman, all kinds of shit. So you bet your ass, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, if they let him release his true untampered version, yes, it's definitely going to be rated R, hands down.
and and really, like, yeah, like, think about this, like, think about that, because David Ayer said in a recent tweet saying about how when Common's character died, it was supposed to be a very long scene where the Joker intimidated Common's character to kill himself.
Yep. And it's
So
supposed to
think about
play
like
out
how
long and slow, and the dread and the score was supposed to build up to that moment to where you're like, oh shit, when the guy did this. Not like just senseless, you're there with no reaction. It's just skipping through scenes while Amanda's just narrating shit and they're chopping up her words, and he's just da, 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 boom, driving off, skip scene, skip scene, Batman jumping, skip scene, car crash, skip scene, punch Harley, skip scene, and then they cut out him even telling Harley, you guys took something from me, now I'm going to take something from you, when he picks up Harley Quinn and throws her over his shoulder, talking about them killing Robin.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely. And is there anything else, Jeffrey, that you want to talk about real quick before we end the stream?
Yeah, like with really like a possible Riddler casting. With
Oh, okay.
yep, because I don't know if you follow him, but there's this guy who works very closely with Zach, who is being very passionate about being the Riddler, and his name is Scott Fowler. He's been doing a lot of his small stuff with Zach. He's actually going to be like a zombie extra in Army of the Dead. But dude, when I tell you, like, he's very passionate about being the Riddler, like he's saying he's tweeting stuff the Riddler would say. And he said that he's actually in talks right now to be the Riddler
Hmm.
for
Interesting.
the Snyderverse. So really, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, really, as far as Riddler casting, give the person who's passionate about it the shot, because it really, if no one else is taking the role and it's not passionate enough, then really I don't see why Scott Fowler can't be the Riddler.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's interesting to hear. I didn't really know much about that until you brought that up. And yeah, I think he'd make a good Riddler. Yeah. Why not, man? Hell, the more the merrier. Jump on the Snyder bandwagon. Get in this Snyderverse, y'all. Because this shit's gonna be lit. And it's funny to me how critics can't see it, and only actors. Why is it critics that are paid off, which we know they're paid off,
Yeah.
hate on the shit so hard, but directors and actors, mainly actors, they all want in on this shit. They all want, and the ones that were a part of it, they don't give a damn what the critics said neither. They're eager. They're like, let me come back. I want to come back. I want to come back. Like, and it's just like now these people are fortunate enough to where I don't know about all of them, but quite a few of them, they're gonna get their second chance. They're gonna get their shot at it. And I hope that Jared Leto is one of them. It appears that he may be secretly doing reshoots for the Snyder Cut as we speak. His eyebrows are shaved, as Jeffrey has brought up to our attention earlier in this video. His hair is cut and around that length again for the Joker character. So this is very, very interesting. So we're gonna have to dive more into that later on in another video. Jody and Campia are being paid by Disney, and that's my comment. That's completely original. Nobody else said that, and I'm just kidding, John. And this has been a great episode, or a great live stream. Another great live stream with my boy Jeffrey Warfield on Strong Arm Flicks. And again, if you're new, please subscribe, please ring the bell, and we're gonna be back at you again real soon with more episodes and more live streams.
Yeah.
So till next time, guys, and thank you for joining in. We got our view count up pretty good, I would say, this live stream. Probably the highest it's been. We're working our way there, and I appreciate all of you new subscribers, all of you new followers and friends that join in on this channel, that watch and contribute, that comment, ask questions, and update me with information as well. Anything you want to add before we go, Jeffrey, real quick?
You really like, you just want to say to the haters a quote from Rick Sanchez: "Your boos mean nothing. We won."
That's a good outro line right there.
Yeah,
And applaud. I won't forget, brother.
Yeah,
Till next
man.
time, guys.
Peace.
Peace.